Hello, season's greetings. The game has started. It's my opponent to go first. I've got a tricky rack, a long way from a bingo, and triplicate T. I've got sight on, leaving double T, which would probably be better than changing if I can get it down. And I've also got Totty on my rack, leaving CN, which isn't a terrible leave. So I do have sight on and brandy. Do I have anything better? Well, let me see what this scores. So that's 26. Would Totty be better? That plays in the same spot. Wow, look at this O above this triple letter square, inviting an X play. And is sight on good in any event? Well, it is. So I do have this play for 26, which is quite a good score and is more than Totty would score. I think it's just the X danger underneath the O, or indeed other premium tiles. Let me think this through. Totty for 21. The C and N go well with the A of brandy and the O of Totty. Totty takes an S in front. But no X danger. A play in row H would provide at least 2 new floaters. Do I have an alternative spot for this? It's quite important to not rush the opening move, since it's going to affect the rest of the game, and you do have plenty of time at the start. So I have Botty in row D. Natty in row F. Okay, this is quite tricky. I think I'm going to go with Totty. It has the best rack leave. 21 points. That looks a lot better. I have erection in row E. Always good to see. A bingo. What else do I have? This looks like there should be several here. Great. My play available. But does erection have an anagram? I thought it did. I'm not seeing it. I've got the con and co prefix. And at the moment, erection doesn't score much in column 1, but if it has an anagram beginning or ending in R, it would score quite nicely. Okay, so it's neoteric. Wow. Okay, I thought that was a double-double for a moment. It isn't. Neoteric for 70. Not good. V and W together. However, it's balanced in terms of vowels and consonants. So as it stands, I have vow in row D, which would sort the rack out. Nice play by my opponent, 54 points for raised. And he might have had an even bigger play in row H if I'd played sight on, if he had a 6-setter play, getting the Z doubled. So where else for thou? And through an I would have view and wive. I have wave in column 2, but that doesn't get doubled. It doesn't score very much. My lead just 15 points, so quite slender. And one reason for preferring neoteric over erection is that the latter stops 1 square short of column 15. I don't think neoteric takes an S at the end. The S front hook of Totty has been taken out by raised. So not too many hot spots on this board, probably row D the hottest, just running across a 4 or 5 letter play. I have wove on my rack. Okay, 23 points for my opponent, and Icky takes quite a number of front hooks. I also have wolve on my rack. Wow, well, I think wiki is good. So, wolve and wiki. Wolve takes at least 2 hooks and possibly 3. I've still got vow. But I think wolve is going to score more with all those tiles in Icky. So 39 points. Horrible. And my lead is only 31 points. And I don't have any of the hooks. I'm not sure if wolve takes an R. It may do. I think pew is good. Can't see anywhere great for that straight away. I do have it in row J, making eth. The G doesn't go well with the E of neoteric. Wow, great play by my opponent, 87 points. And he's drawn 7 new tiles, so could easily have drawn one of the 2 Ds and 4 S's for going on the end of wolve. So I trail by 50, and I'm not in great shape. I certainly need to split up these G's, otherwise I could play pouch. So do I have a play in column 12, putting my H next to the C? Well, I don't think I do, which is a shame. Well, nothing that burns one of the G's. 15 minutes on my clock. What about a play through the E of wolve? And I'm mainly looking to sort the rack out. I really don't want to play pew and eth. That just doesn't seem to be scoring enough. Ah, well, I think pliug is good. It may just be pliuch. Obviously not really pronounced like that. If it's good, it's 33 points, and I think it's my play. Great, it is good. I draw the final G. And all bingo-y tiles, but this doesn't look very bingo-y. Just the overall balance isn't there. Great, opponent leaves alone the wolved hook, and I do now have a D. So what's the best way of dealing with that? I'm not seeing any plays at all, either with D in 3rd place or beginning with D. Except I got doggy for 43. Wow, fantastic rack. I draw a blank and an S. I trail by just 8 points. And I must have a reasonable prospect of bingoing with this rack. I have Rene's in column 1. Stays available, but opponent has bingoed with Murina. Murina takes an S, so I think my highest play is going to be now in row O. Do I have a 7 with this rack? Yes, I have Sannies and Siennas. So Sannies for 77. That's sticking the blank on the double letter square. Sienna's doesn't. It does, however, place a vowel underneath this triple letter square, so I'm just looking for a play which doesn't put the blank on the double letter square and doesn't put a vowel underneath the triple letter square. So how difficult can that be? Let's find out. Double N, not a great combination. But I have the ness ending. Let me put this back. I have the ness ending with AN blank. Nope, not seeing anything. That looks promising, but again, I'm not seeing anything. That's Siennas and Sunnies. I guess I'll play Siennas if I don't come across anything better. That looks potentially good, but I'm not seeing anything. Okay, so there we go. Oneness. It was worthwhile schlepping to the end. Oneness for 80. Not great, but not a disaster either, because the J is a good tile to see, and we're just 2 points apart. Opponent's play of Murinas was really good for him. If he didn't have a bingo at that point, I would have been a bingo ahead and had the upper hand. As it is, we're dead level, and opponent on turn, so he has the tempo. Now a play of Jure would get rid of the J and sort out my duplicates. Still the Q to come, and no U's unseen. The unplayed U's are both on my rack, so retaining one of them is certainly not a disaster. I haven't seen anywhere at all for my J so far, and in particular I've seen nowhere for Jure. Rejourn is good, onto an N. No N's available. Just looking in row J to see if I can get my J on this triple letter square, but I have nothing to go after ET. What about a play in column 2? Again, just looking at either of these triple letter squares. Nothing. Okay, drawing a complete blank at the moment. I don't want to leave myself with 2 U's, that doesn't feel right. But maybe I won't have a say in the matter. I have Jure, Jin and 1. Fantastic. That, I think, is the play. And it's been taken. How frustrating. Maybe it would have been better if I'd never seen that spot. Juve is good. I'm not too bothered about duplicate R, but the duplicate U does trouble me. Wow, look at that. Jet and Udo are good, but the N's getting in the way. And I don't have Rejourn in that spot. I have Jura on my rack. Does that play? Well, it does through the R, but it doesn't score very much. It doesn't play over oneness. It doesn't play parallel to Murinas. 11 minutes on my clock. So do I have something else above raised? Another JU play. JU are not good. Wow, tricky situation. And if only Bop hadn't have been played, I would have had an easy play of Jure. I'm thinking about playing Jura. I trail by 29 points. Is that best? It's only 12 points. Absolutely dismal. So, what about playing Je here? That's 33 points. That's a good score. The duplicate are softened or mitigated by the fact that they are the only consonants and they're helping to maintain vowel-consonant balance. I'm going with this. Je for 33. more misery. I have vrow in column 1 onto the W. That would totally sort the wreck out. I'm quite keen to hang on to the U with the Q unseen. Let me check the remaining vowel situation. There goes the Q, but for only 11 points, and the vrow spot remains available. Fantastic. 9 vowels out of 20, so a pretty balanced bag. Dog-ear and doggy's good for future reference. Just wondering if I missed a play through O and U with my J. I don't think so. So, is this where I establish a tempo of my own? Vrow for 30. Wow, I dodge all those vowels, and the remaining tiles now looking quite bingo-y. And there's a wide open bingo lanes, or sorry, bingo lane and lanes in the bottom left of the board. Although the W is slightly problematic since it doesn't take an E in front. So that may be my saviour. I'm now grateful for having the U because it's the only vowel on my rack. Can't see any bingo through the A. And my lead, wow, just 23 points. So it's hard to think about sacrificing points to shut the board down, because if I do that, my opponent could catch me without bingoing. 3 scoring tiles left, the F, H and M. No super hot spots on the board for any of those. But they are all capable of scoring. And on my rack, I've got just the F. I have nothing to go after ET. Nothing goes in front of Z, so this is all pretty dead for parallel plays. Phone is good, so I could play full phone and up. 20 points, and that's the sort of minimum target score I'm looking for to maintain my tempo lead. If my opponent doesn't bingo, I think he's going to struggle to score more than 30 points. So if I keep hammering in 20-point plays, I may get across the line. I have creel in row L, which preserves my vowel, splits up duplicate L. Great, just 16 points for my opponent, and he's obstructing the R and the A. So I was thinking about doing creel, retaining my solitary vowel, retaining the F for score. 16 points, close to 20. Can I do any better? 9 minutes on my clock. Let me put this back. Any scoring spots for my F? I don't really wish to do full, because it provides an easy spot for my opponent to get 20 or 30 points. At the moment my lead is just 7 points, absolutely tiny lead. I'm struggling to see anywhere to score on this board. I could play fur. So do I have a longer play through O and U ending with R or S? And probably ending R. Can't see one. Doff is good. 16 points is so small, and I'd like to be turning over more tiles as well, to give my opponent fewer shots at bingoing. I have the full ending, FUL. That doesn't really help me. Okay, so I'm not seeing anything. So I'm going with creel for 16. Great, I draw one of the high scoring tiles and I draw a vowel. Remaining tiles very bingo-y. And I think that's my main vulnerability. My H can go underneath ET. It's going to be very hard to take out the bingo lane in row N. Wow, look at that. Opponent bingo's 86-point power play. Takes a big lead, empties the bag, and it's game over. Brutal. Unless I can find a bingo with this rack, and I don't think I can. Fantastic bingo from the V, a very unlikely floater. Not one of my concerns. I was concentrating on the lower left of the board. My opponent slams down a huge bingo on the top row. Remaining tiles I can see on his rack, 6 of them, pretty rubbish. He won't mind about that. So I now need to minimise the losing spread. Well, I first need to be sure there are no bingos. So I've got the fish ending and the full ending. I've got a floating R and A. They don't aid. I have the A of Exotica. No good. That is it. I don't have a bingo. So I need to go out in 2 and score as well as I can. My H can go underneath the A. But the best I can do there is HI. What about using the doggies hook? Can't see anything there. Nowhere super hot for my S. So I have an F and H for score. So I do have FEH and HO. But then I'd be left with DILSU. Neither U nor I goes above the W, so row N is dead for me. How to go out in 2, pretty tricky. My H can go underneath the S, and I'm just looking for plays using 3 or 4 tiles in row B. So I have lush or fish in row J. Fish would keep lud. And lush, what would that keep? FID, can I go out with FID? Not anywhere obvious. I have fluid on my rack. Wow, just hard to see anything here. So I have AHS, leaving fluid. What about a play down through DO? Not seeing anything. What about a play through A and K? Can't see anything there. Wow, what a really tricky endgame, and I've only got 3 minutes on my clock to try and find something here. What am I missing? Maybe I should just play FEH and move on. 23 points I'm going with this. It gives nothing away. There may be an out with this rack. Not seen it so far, but I'll be able to get something with it. I'm looking at the R and the A. So I have Sid, but that leaves just an L on my rack. I trail by 40 points, so I'm not going to make that up. It'll be interesting to see if there was an out in 2 with that rack. I spent quite a while looking for it and didn't really come close to finding anything. My I can go between R and P. So I could play id. I may even get to have 2 goes. Opponent may not have an out in 2. 19 points for id. Keeping L, U, S. Well, I'm not sure I can even go out with that on this board. I would have alus in column 2. "10 minutes on my opponent's clock, 2 on mine. "15 points for my opponent. He's got triple I-O. I'm still not going to catch him. But I've got id for 19. Do I have anything better than that? No, so I'm going with this. I trail by 37. Just 10 points for my opponent. He's now got double I, which I don't think he can go out with. No W's for iwi are available. Maybe he's seen something that I've overlooked. So I've got 2 goes. I could play doggies. I could play alus to end the game. 6 points, plus 4 on countback, so that's worth 10. I'm tempted to put this game out of its misery. I think anything better than alus is going to be only marginally better, so alus for 6. And the final score, 417 to me, 453 to my opponent, a winning margin of 36 points, so well done to my opponent. Let's see what I missed. And indeed, it was a good game. So, my opponent to go first. He plays Brand. And now I was hesitating between Saiton and Totti, and I went with Totti. Opponent has raised. And now, wow, Cenobite through the B. That would have been quite nice, albeit stopping 1 square short of a double word square. And it does take an S. Then we have the plays I spotted. Opponent's rack, plays Icky. And now I have Wolve for 39. Great bingo for my opponent, Exotica. And I now trail by 56. And this was a tricky rack. Oh wow, having hesitated slightly over Pliug, I had the more common Plough available in the same spot. Opponent plays Wayne. Now if I'd played Plough, I would have had, well, an E instead of the O, so Pliug worked out. I played Doggy for 43, that looks best. Great rack for my opponent, he bingos with Murina. And I have Oneness for 80 points, and 2 places to play it on row O, in row O, but my spot is better. It could have all been 1 square to the right, but that would have placed the A under this triple letter square, a bad thing. Opponent plays Bob. Wow, he had the cue, he didn't dump it. What a shame, my Jur spot would have remained available. But I think Jur is not too far behind. Opponent now does play the cue off, and it's really close. Just 7 points between us. And I have Vrow, which I thought was a good play, and it is, but it did sow the seeds for my ultimate misfortune. Opponent plays me. Yeah, balancing a pretty bingo-y rack. Now this was a rack I struggled with. I thought about playing full, which would, with hindsight, have blocked ventrals. And instead I went with Creel. Interesting. Okay, I suspect there's not much between those, because if my opponent doesn't bingo in row A, then full certainly provides him with somewhere to score. And look at this rack. He has a choice of bingos, ventrals at the top, A sternal down from the A, and sternal in row N, so full would not have stopped him from bingoing. Now I'm 60 points behind, and the bag is empty, so do I have a winning bingo? No, I don't. G4, fetish. Quite nice, keeping Lud, so that probably would have given me an out in 2. I went with Fey. Opponent has this rack. Plays far. No out here. I play Id. Opponent plays IO. And I go out with the Alus, and I could have played Tolus at I6 to also go out, but for 1 fewer point. However, probably a better play would have been Souk in column 10 for 20. Opponent would have played one of his eyes, and then I would have been able to play my L somewhere, so I think that out sequence would have been better. So, a terrific battle. Well done once again to my opponent for triumphing. Always a pleasure to play against hriday. And well, that's the end of that game. And I think this is going to be released on Christmas Day. So happy Christmas to everyone who's into that sort of thing. And thank you very much to everyone who has watched the videos during this year and who has subscribed or commented under them. And a special thanks to all of my patrons on Patreon who help with the financial costs of running the channel. It makes a big difference, and I'm grateful to every single one of you who is part of that. Details of Patreon are in the description below this video. So I hope you all have a good rest and a good time at this time of year, and I will see you next time.